Uchi. I am a girl child advocate and equally a humanitarian worker from Nigeria. We equally have Malala Sivu Sami from Zambia, Ogechukwu Uzoezi from Nigeria, Tijani S. Salome from Nigeria, Kelly Ngeche Tanye from Cameroon, Ayomide Eunice Okeleye from Nigeria, Seriki Damilare Ayododoyin from Nigeria, Ryan Suleiman from Nigeria, Niamaizi Joanne from Uganda, and Godwin Oluwatosin Yeah, so I lost internet connection for a few seconds there. Thank you so much, group members, for joining. Thank you so much, participants, for joining. This session is being live streamed, so I urge you to invite your friends and family to join the session. And if they are unable to, they can equally see the live stream of the session on the AIIDEB platforms. So without much ado, our topic, as I said, is achieving good menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls. Today, this is a very crucial topic, right? And the discussion is about ensuring the well-being and dignity of women and girls through comprehensive menstrual health and hygiene practices. Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, my internet, it seems to be quite unstable and has been kicking me out. So I'll keep my video off. So it will probably help with the internet. And then I'll go straight to our conversation for today. As I said, we have a lineup of achieving good menstrual health and hygiene. Kelly Ngechi Tanye, Ogechukwu Uzoezi, and for today is Kelly. So before Kelly goes ahead to go on with her presentation, I would like to give a short bio of who Kelly is. Kelly Ngeche Tanya development goals as she has a publication concerning the SDGs. She's a Cameroonian as well as a resident in the same country. Her groundbreaking achievement will be to defend human rights goals of the SDGs. Thank you so much, Kelly, for giving us your time and equally for making this presentation. So you can go. You have co-hosting rights, so you can share your slides and commence your presentation, Kelly.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much, everyone. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. I'm really happy to be part of this groundbreaking achievements of the SDGs. Well, I'll just start by sharing my slides before we do the presentation. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, let me just quickly share my slides. Can everyone see my slides?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. So our topic for today is achieving good menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls. We'll give a brief introduction of the topic. Menstruation is a natural and regular occurrence, which is normally experienced by many women and girls of reproductive age, even though some people might act, other people who menstruate, like those of like hermaphrodites and all, but our concentration is on women and girls because the percentage of other people who menstruate is quite few. So an average woman can menstruate about 450 times. That is approximately 38 years of her life. The ability to manage menstruation is based on adequate knowledge, safety, and dignity, and which is essentially a human right given to all women and girls who menstruate. However, hundreds of millions of these girls and women in low resource areas or areas which does not have appropriate measures to take in such considerations is not well prepared for when menstruation, they are not well prepared when menstruation begins. That said, I'll be going to define some key terms. Menstruation, which is a natural bodily process of releasing blood associated matter from uterus through the vagina as part of the menstrual cycle, usually called as menses. Menarche, which is a debut or onset of menstruation, normally experienced by a girl in her first period. At least that is about 13 or 12 years to 13, even though most girls now do menstruate at very early ages, but approximately you have the ages from 12 to 13 going up. Menstrual hygiene management, which the United Nations Children's Foundations, UNICEF, as well as UNESCO, put it that menstruation is when a girl and woman uses clean material to absorb or collect menstrual blood that can be changed in all privacy and as necessary for the duration of the period, and have access to soap, water, and disposable facilities for used menstrual pads. The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, summarizes this in profoundly some few steps, which is having accurate and timely knowledge, that is the right to information, the available, safe, and affordable materials, informed and comfortable professionals, referral and access to health services, sanitation and washing facilities, positive social norms, safe and hygienic disposal, advocacy, and policy. Now, we'll go down to why menstrual health and hygiene matters. The lack of proper sanitation facilities and proper affordable hygiene materials for use by adolescent girls and women at home, at school, and at workplaces affect their health, their potential to access education, employment, overall safety, and quality of life, which boils down to the several SDG goals highlighted, which will be highlighted further by my co-speakers. Also, we have several reasons why menstrual health matters, which is, one, health-related risks. which can be seen with the unsafe and unhygienic materials some women and girls use during menstruation. You have also the psychosocial effects. What menstruation is often associated with shame and disgust seen by others. Also, you have education, in which many girls and women are being affected, especially in attending schools. You have a productive work time, which hinders women during their menstrual period to go to work or to do laborious activities. Also, we have the environment. Due to lack of limited waste management, or when these parts are being used, there's no proper disposal. We will now go down to the obstacles. To attaining menstrual health and hygiene. One, we have the cultural taboos and restrictions. Of course, we're in Africa, and everything an African person dwells with is mostly on certain taboos, and menstruation is usually related to taboos, especially in some cultures where the refusal of women to perform certain activities, such as cooking. For some cultures, when a lady already attains the age and has her first menstrual period, it gives that facility for that lady to get married at that age. I remember personally when I was told that a woman is not supposed to harvest fresh pepper when she's menstruating. Those are the kind of things that is associated with culture. Also, we have limited access to information and supplies. During menstruation, women lack appropriate access to information, or especially when girls commence their debut, they don't have that information which can guide them in managing menstruation. Also, we have unavailability of good infrastructures. Women for example, in certain public institutions, or for example, schools or offices, where they lack a private place to be able to change their menstrual pads. And this is kind of a hindrance because it doesn't make them to boost their self-confidence, and they'll always be feeling kept away and feeling shameful to perform such acts to changing their menstrual pads. Now, we also have menstrual health management in humanitarian settings. This is usually associated with those living in refugee camps or secluded camps, mainly for those purposes, where they run away from crisis in their various zones. However, lack facilities which can help them access menstrual management or privacy or available materials during menstruation. I will now go further to give a link between menstrual health and human rights. Most of what women and girls experience during menstruation touches one or two of their human rights, which is why it is linked and connected to their various personal human rights, such as the right to education, the right to health, work, or even gender equality, and which is being protected by conventions such as the right of the child, Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which is paramount in protecting women and girls during menstrual hygiene. Now, I will go with menstrual health and hygiene in humanitarian crisis. I mentioned earlier on how women in these areas lack vital facilities or materials, which is rather chaotic, as well as gives them the opportunity not to access these needs during menstruation. I'll go further by giving some friendly alternatives to regular sanitary pads, which can be helpful as far as innovation is concerned. We have reusable sanitary pads, which not only pollutes the society as regular pads might, they pollute the environment as regular pads might cause, but also can be reused and is much more affordable than, for example, here, a packet of parts costs 750 francs, whereas it was 600 francs. All these price tags on it only adds to the bondage in which a normal struggling girl can't afford. So a proposition of a reusable sanitary pad will be applicable to this menstrual health management. We have menstrual cups. Menstrual cup is one of the essential alternative to sanitary pads, regular sanitary pads. Also, we have tampons, and we also have regular pads which can be ensured in its friendly disposal, like burying. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. I'll let the floor to the other speakers to take on from there. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you so much. Thank you for making us understand the concept of menstruation from a global perspective and why menstrual health and hygiene matters and the obstacles to attaining menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls, and also discussing how menstruation affects human rights and the rights of women and girls in our society. Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. I would like to go to our next speaker, and our next speaker is Ogechukwu Ozueze. And before she speaks, I would like to give her short biography. Ogechukwu Uzuezi is an educator and a girls' rights advocate based in Lagos, Nigeria. She holds a master's in English language literature from the University of Lagos, coupled with a PGD in English education from the Nigerian Teachers Institute. She is deeply committed to advancing sustainable development goals SDGs 4 and 5 and possesses a 21st century soft skills certificate from the Honoris United Universities Online Academy. Ogechukwu's impactful journey includes serving as Nigeria's ambassador for the My Body is My Body Foundation, where she educates communities on child abuse prevention. She moderates educational content for the Women in Africa community, extending vital resources and support. Currently, as an admission officer at Christ the Redeemer Schools, she coordinates admissions and outreach programs to enhance learning experiences. Her extensive volunteer involvement encompasses providing emotional support through the HearMe.app, mentoring girls with female and more, and spearheading educational initiatives with Save the African Child to combat child sexual abuse. Ogechukwu is passionately champions SDGs 4 and 5 with a multifaceted focus on literacy, learning, disabilities, girls' education, and regional development. Her unwavering commitment to education and advocacy underscores her mission to catalyze positive community change. Thank you so much, Ogechukwu, for joining us. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak on this very important topic. You have the floor to go ahead with your presentation. So our topic once more is achieving good menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls. And our present speaker is Ogechukwu Uzoezi. So yes, you can go ahead and share slides, yes, and proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Ogechukwu Uzoezi. Thank you for having me. So I'll be speaking on the interconnectivity between the SDGs and menstrual health hygiene. So I would like to share my slides now. Then I'll start off from there. Now it's raining here and connection is poor. So
okay.
Let me share my slide. Okay. Okay, thank you. I hope everybody can see my slide.
Yes, we can see your slide.
So I'm speaking on the interconnectivity of menstrual health, hygiene, and sustainable development goals. And as regards this presentation, we'll be referring to menstrual health and hygiene as MHH. So you all agree with me that we are here today because of the SDGs. And the SDGs are a collective agenda that identifies how the global society can enable sustainable economic, social, and environmental development. So the interconnectivity of menstrual health, hygiene, and sustainable development is crucial and multifaceted relationship. Sustainable development encompasses economic, social, and environmental dimension, and MHH plays a significant role in advancing all of them. So we're going to look at not all the 17 SDGs, we're just going to look at a few of them. So I'm going to quote Michelle Bachelet, who happens to be the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. And she says, menstrual health and hygiene is not just a woman's issue. It is a human rights issue and a matter of dignity and equality. And all of us as gender advocates here, we fall under the SDG 5, which is gender equality. So if we have about 2 million people menstruating in the world globally, then you all agree with me that it's overdue for us to assess how MHH interconnect to the SDG. So the first SDG I'm going to be looking at is gender equality. Now, access to proper menstrual health hygiene is essential for achieving the gender equality. When girls and women have the necessary resources, knowledge, and support to manage their menstrual hygiene, they can fully participate in education, they can participate in work and social activity. Poor menstrual health hygiene is a source of gender equality because it hinders the health and the well-being of those who menstruate. The question is, who are those that menstruate? And we all know that the people that menstruate are women and girls. And research is telling us there are about 2 billion people around the globe that menstruate. So by engaging men and boys on menstruation issues, it helps to increase the knowledge and understanding, and it may reduce stigma and enable them support and take care of those who menstruate in their lives. Some people will say, those men will say, it's a woman's stuff, especially in Africa, it's a woman's stuff, it's about women. But these men fail to understand that you have a mother, you have a sister, you get married and you have a wife, and you have sister-in-laws and you have daughters too. So in order to balance the gender ratio, by looking at gender equality, if we engage men and boys, our fathers, our husbands, and our brothers, and we balance the gender equation, we notice that we give them knowledge and understanding of what menstruation and menstrual hygiene is all about, so that they can also help the women in their life. The next SDG I'll be looking at is quality education. Now, UNESCO estimates that 1 in 10 girls in Africa misses school during menstrual cycles, which add up to 20% of their total school year. As women here, we all know some people experience pains and cramps when they menstruate. Now, if these girls are passing through this pain, they can't concentrate in class, they might not come to school. And if this continues every month of the year throughout their school year, you notice that they have lost a lot when it comes to getting quality education. So by providing a social environment that is not discriminatory toward menstruating students, we improve MHH. And also by quality teaching about MHH, we can also strengthen knowledge and confidence in these girls. Some girls will hide away from class. Some wouldn't want to participate in class activities because of the stigma that is attached to menstruation, especially here in Africa. So a lack of MHH learning and a decrease in sanitary supplies may impair learning for these girls. So the next SDG I'll be looking at is good health and well-being. Good health and well-being. There's a positive association between menstrual health hygiene and SDG 3, which is good health and well-being, because it is only a good mind that can stay in a healthy body. When someone is down or is sick or is passing through pain, the person is not in good health. Proper MHH reduces the risk of infection and health issues relating to menstruation. This supports the overall health and well-being of girls and women. So understanding that most women pass through menstrual pain, it is essential for us to look at the needs or provide medical advice and medical attention for these women. There are some people that during their menstruation, they can't eat, they throw up. I've heard of a case of a girl that fainted just because she's menstruating. So all this kind of hinders her from achieving or enjoying good health. Improper menstrual hygiene can lead to what? Reproductive tract infection. If women don't take care of their health, if these health facilities are not provided, it can affect their health generally. In India alone, it is estimated that about 70% of reproductive health issues is linked to poor menstrual hygiene. So you can see how MHH is interconnected to good health and well-being. The next on my list is economic empowerment, which is SDG 8. Economic empowerment. When women and girls are healthy and educated, they are better equipped to access economic opportunities and contribute to sustainable development. I want to throw a question to the house. How many of us here can go for a leave in our place of work when you are menstruating? Even if you're having painful one, how many of us can go for a leave? Or just take permission from your bosses and say, I'm menstruating, I'm having pain, and I'll not be able to come to work. You can see that many of us don't enjoy that opportunity, and it affects what? Our work. Now, when workplaces and social environments consider, not you, yeah, many of us, even the men here will be shocked. You might not hear your wife or your daughter saying, today I've been asked to stay at home because I'm passing through pain. If workplaces and social environments consider and support women's health and hygiene, it reduces gender discrimination because inadequate awareness of resources and in our workplaces can hinder engagement to work. If I'm not okay, if I'm not fine, I can't give you my best. If my mind is not stable, I can't do work. But we have places around the world that women enjoy this. A place like Scotland, I found out that they are offered free period products. We all know how much we spend monthly on buying period products. So in places like Spain, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and Zambia enjoy menstrual leave and period products, why can't other places around the world, around us, even in Africa, even in Nigeria, in other countries, why can't they allow women give in their best by providing for them during their menstruation? So absence of these safety facilities can hinder women from high economic productivity. Next on our list is environmental sustainability. That is SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. The ladies here, I would like to know, since you started menstruating, what happened to all the pads you used? The pads your sisters, your mothers, your aunties used. How did we dispose of them? Looking at environmental sustainability, we are looking at responsible consumption. When we use this disposable pads, we might not at the end of the day dispose them properly. So the widespread of disposable menstrual products generates significant waste. In my school, for instance, we actually have a place where we encourage girls to tie up their used menstrual pads and we throw it into a particular bin. But I'm yet to know what happens or what the whereabouts of those things after they have been disposed. Now, promoting reusable and eco-friendly menstrual products aligns with the principle of responsible consumption and production. The last speaker mentioned some other ways we can use menstrual products. She talked about reusable pads. She talked about biodegradable pads. I think by providing women with choice, which include biodegradable and safe reusable options, it can help women to be responsible consumers. The next SDG is reduce inequality. That is SDG 10. Addressing menstrual health hygiene inequalities contribute to reducing disparity in health, education, and economic opportunities as it affects marginalized and vulnerable populations. How many of us have thought about people that are passing through one disability or the other? What happens when they menstruate? If a child has Down syndrome, if a child is not capable of taking care of him or herself, that child, nature will still take place. Nature will still take its course. That person will still menstruate. Your body won't say because you are not okay or because this child has Down syndrome or is facing one challenge or the other, then the child will menstruate. What happens to those people in our society that cannot really take care of themselves? So you notice that unmet MHH leads towards inequality, and inequality on who can manage their menstruation with barriers to people with disabilities around us. Now, another important SDG we'll be looking at is clean water and sanitation, which happens to be SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. Proper disposal of menstrual products and access to clean water for hygiene are interconnected. When it comes to menstruation, one thing all women around the world know is that menstruation has to do with the collection of the menstrual fluid, removing it from your body, and cleaning the blood or the body. So imagine girls, where you have like 300 or 100 girls in a school where there is no clean water for them to clean their body. That means they'll move around with patches of blood behind their gowns or skirts. And this hinders them from even coming to school. So accessing water, sanitation, and hygiene during menstruation is essential for our daily life. And lack of clean water at home and school can increase gender discrimination. Now, finally, I'm looking at the SDG 17, which is partnership of the goals. Achieving MHH is not just for the group under gender equality or good health. It's connected with all SDGs, hence partnership for the goals. Achieving menstrual health and hygiene and sustainable development requires collaboration among governments, NGOs, businesses, and communities. Because if you are not menstruating, you're a man, you're not menstruating, it's also affecting you because you have women around you. So by collaborating with businesses and communities, partnerships are essential to address the multifaceted challenges related to MHH. So by adequate attention of both and interaction of both private and public partnerships, we'll be able to enjoy and achieve good menstrual health and hygiene. Thank you for having me.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ogechi. Thank you so much, Ogechi, for your engaging session. It was indeed very engaging. The comment section has lots of questions and responses as regards to the conversation we are having to see the interconnectedness between menstruation and other SDGs is indeed an eye-opener, how it's connected to gender equality, quality education, good health and well-being, clean water and sanitation, and so many other SDGs. Of course, it's important that collaboration is made possible in order to help women and girls when it comes to issues of menstruation and menstrual health and hygiene. Thank you so much, Ogechukwu. I'm sure participants have lots of questions. Once we are done with our last speaker, we'll give room for questions. So our last speaker, Ayomide Okeleye, will be coming up to have her own presentation. But before that, I'd like to read her biography. Ayomide is the health communication specialist with a background in human anatomy who understands that every person is first a human and is entitled to the rights that guide humans. She is passionate about protecting and promoting the rights of young girls and women against various forms of human rights violation. She currently works at Women's Rights and Health Project and manages the Ireti Resource Center, which is a non-profit organization that works for the promotion of sexual and reproductive health rights and general development of women, young people, and community members, especially women and girls. Thank you so much, Ayomide Okeleye, for joining and for giving us the opportunity to gain from your wisdom on the issue of menstrual hygiene management as it affects women and girls. So you can go ahead with your presentation.
Oh, thank you so much, Rachel, for introducing me. You were reading the bio and I was smiling to myself. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Ayomide Okeleye, and as Rachel has said in the bio, I work as the communication officer for Women's Rights and Health Project. We are managers of the Ireti Resource Center, which is a psychosocial support center. So enough of that. It's so good to be here. It's so good to see a lot of advocates, both male and female, on this call. I'm glad to be here once again. So without wasting much of our time, I know a lot have been said. Ogechukwu has done justice. Kelly killed it, and I was really proud of every Africa together to talk about this immediately without wasting much of our time. I don't mean. Oh, okay. So can everyone see my slide, please, just to confirm that we can see it?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So just like I said, Oge and Kelly, they've done justice about achieving good menstrual health hygiene for women and girls in the community. So I would not like to waste our time. I will just go straight to key facts. I would like to kickstart this conversation by addressing some facts, sobering facts, which a lot of us are aware of, which most of us think is actually true, which most of us, can relate with. And the first thing is the menstrual taboo. Yes, the menstrual taboo. So in many parts of the world, in Africa, I remember Kelly mentioning in Africa especially, yes, menstruation is actually shrouded in secrecy and stigma. Girls and women often face discrimination, face exclusion, even shame and stigma because of something that is natural, but because of this taboo or this ideology that the society actually came up with, that everyone is also growing alongside with, so many girls and young women actually feel shy and are stigmatized because of this. In fact, I don't want to say this, but I just have to say that even at times,
our religion at times actually makes us feel kind of, because you might not be able to do some things because you are actually doing that. It's a normal thing, a natural thing, a natural biological procedure. So the second fact is lack of access. Yes, I tell you, millions of women and girls still lack access to basic menstrual products. Not talking about the urban areas alone, even the rural areas, even some sub urban areas, they still lack basic menstrual products and proper facilities. Yes, proper facilities. I remember Kelly talking about okay, yes, okay was talking about in our school, or yeah, where she's teaching, that they have a place where girls can keep their products, their used products. Yes, that's a very good one. But how many schools or how many organizations have places like that? How many have made preparations for women and girls to go in and take care of themselves properly? This has not only affected physical health, but also self-esteem. I can use myself as an example. When I was in school, there in secondary school, there's this shame when you're on your menstruation and you just have to go to school. I'll be like, oh no, not today. I'm always praying that, oh God, let me start my menstruation on a weekend, so I'll be at home. Why? Lack of proper facilities. Then some of the discrimination that I talked about in the first place. So having access to affordable and safe menstrual products like pads, tampons, menstrual cups, reusable pads are actually not affordable and accessible to many women and girls. So the third one is health risk. Poor menstrual hygiene can lead to a host of health issues, including infections and diseases. Yes, so it is high time we actually understand and we come to agreements that menstrual health is not just a woman issue, it's a public health issue. It's actually something that has to do with both the male and the female. Yes, we'll get to a point where I'll talk about men engagement, but I would also like to bring to our notice, yes, I know Oge did justice by showing us the interconnection between the SDGs. That thing is actually, that point is actually a very key one. We need to understand how I wish a lot of advocates are actually on this call. Yes, and I think it's because some people feel it's not my group that is performing. It's not the SDG I am anchoring for that is performing. So why should I be here? But it's actually not right. It's actually wrong, because I have come to understand that all of the 17 SDGs are actually interconnected. When we check from the millennial goals, that's the 8 millennial goals, you can see that all of these SDGs actually were actually coined from the millennial goals. Then the UN checked, okay, what other situations do we need to address? That was how all of this came to place. So gender equality or menstrual health or sexual and reproductive health of women and girls is not just a woman matter. It's not just a woman issue. It's a public health issue that we all need to sit together. We all need to come together to address. It's not a competition this time. It's not like, oh, those people are just for the gender equality people. Okay, we are for the good health. No. Okay, actually showed us how good health, partnership, and other SDGs actually have a part to play in this. Okay, so the other fact is no stigma or shame. So feeling uncomfortable and not being embarrassed or stigmatized because of menstruation. Just like I gave my own illustration by using myself, I don't want to, because I am not comfortable, because people around me, have you ever had this encounter where probably you're on your way out and you didn't know that you got stained, and you just notice that happens in schools though. You just notice that some guys will just be laughing, even some girls will just be laughing, and you'll be like, what's happening? By the time you know, you'll be stigmatized. So it's because proper education has not been done for both the male child and girl child, which is one of the reasons why so many people are stigmatized and even embarrassed. I can say it boldly now that I think I just got the confidence or the courage to walk into a store to say, I want to get a menstrual product. I want to get a pad. I want to get. It took me years. It took me years because I was always feeling embarrassed. Like, what? How do I enter? How do I say I want to get this? But it is a natural part of a woman or a girl. Now, the last one I have here is supportive communities. Having family, friends, and communities that understand and support women and girls during their product is actually key to ensuring good menstrual health and hygiene. Okay, without wasting much of our time, I'll move on to the challenges and barriers to menstrual health and hygiene, good menstrual health and hygiene. The first one, just as we've said earlier, is stigma and cultural beliefs. So this is wonderful. Menstruation is often surrounded by negative beliefs and taboos, causing unnecessary isolation and shame for women and girls. This is actually key because it is something that happens even within our surroundings. We are talking about the Africa. Okay, we're talking about Africa at large. It happens in Africa. Like, yes, I'm an African, I'm a Nigerian, and I know how this has actually caused a problem in all of that. So the second is also lack of access to information and services. Many women and girls lack the information and resources needed to manage their menstrual health, especially in rural and remote areas. Yes, especially in rural and remote areas, but that does not exclude the people in the urban areas, because a lot of people, yes, I'm actually happy to be an African because I see so many advocates online, offline, trying to create awareness about the menstrual health. They go to schools. You see so many advocates go to schools, go to the marketplace, go to churches, go to mosques, just to create awareness about this, just for women and girls, young girls especially those that do not have access. Yes, a lot of people do not have access to this information. A lot of people in the rural areas and the remote areas, they do not have access to this information and the necessary things they need to put in place. As we go on, we still have our action plan. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can, our roles in ensuring women and girls have access to good menstrual health and hygiene. The third one is the financial constraints. Yes, this is actually a reality. I remember Oge's chain. Do you know how much it costs to get a sanitary pad? And I was laughing to myself. Yes, do you know how much it costs? A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, can actually not afford to buy menstrual products. A lot of people can actually not afford to buy menstrual products, and this can lead to unhygienic and unsafe practices. Yes, don't be surprised when you see people using old rags. Yes, I've actually met people using rags. Now the clothes just to make it, and they wash the resources to get all of these things. Even a young girl cannot walk up to her father that, "Daddy, I need money for this." The father will be like, "Don't meet your mother now. Not be woman Israel. Like, is it not a woman matter? Why are you coming to me?" I think all of this is actually part of lack of information. So as we can see, that all of these challenges are actually intertwined. So accessing or addressing one would actually help us avoid the other. So financial constraint is a big challenge, and legal frameworks to ensure adequate menstrual health and hygiene facilities and services in schools and workplace area. Just like my mentor would say, she would say, "We have the laws, but do they bite?" She would say, "We have the laws, but do they bite?" Yes, we have all of the laws. A lot of us, we actually know about the laws and the policies. We know about the violence against persons prohibition law, the domestic, protection against domestic violence law. We know the Cybercrime Act. We know the Cybercrime this, but do they bite? Are we even aware of them? Do we know that there are laws that guides all of these things? Most of us, we don't know. And when you don't know, about a law, you cannot see it as maybe a crime or a violation. Okay, without wasting much of our time, I believe we're actually enjoying this. Can I see one or two reactions to know that I'm actually saying something that looks that is interesting or that we're actually getting? I need just one or two reactions from us. Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. I'll just continue. Men's vital role in advancing menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls. Yes, so we've got into the key thing. On the group, when we posted the flyer, I saw one or two comments that people are saying gender equality, and we have just women on the flyer. Gender equality indeed, this and that. But I can tell you, the men in this group are actually the best because they've been backing each and every of the speaker up like back to back. Ryan is there and we have all of them. They have been helping us. So now you say it's just like I said, it's not just a woman issue or a public issue. So now, men, what are the roles of men? How can we engage men into advancing this thing? I gave an illustration that a young girl might not be able to walk up to her dad that that I need to get, now those days they'll be like, no, don't do this, don't talk to me, go and meet your mother. So men, what are your roles? Advocate, if or she's in the house, what are your roles in advancing this? Let's go. Engaging men in conversations about menstrual health is essential to creating a more inclusive and supportive society for women and girls. Yes, men engagement is essential, not just even for the menstrual health. We have a lot of if or she's, we have a lot of men advocates that actually even stand than the women themselves. Like they know what it takes, they know what it entails. So engagement of men is actually a key thing. Yeah, so I tell people, when you hear the word gender equality, what comes to your head? They are here again, they want to take dominance. No. Or when you hear the word feminism, what comes to your head? They want to be at the top. No, it is equality. And this is actually something that would work for everyone. It will help us create a just society where everyone can maximize their potentials. Yes, without deviating, let me just go back. Menstrual health is a shared responsibility that impacts women, girls, and the entire community. Men have a crucial role to play in promoting awareness, providing support, and breaking the stigma surrounding menstruation. Okay, let's move. Let's go. Here are some key roles that men can play. Number one, education. Yes, we've been saying it that awareness creation and all of that. So the first thing I would say is education. Men can educate themselves about menstruation, including its biological aspect and the challenges women and girls face during their menstrual cycle. You might feel like, oh, I'm a male, I don't need to. But what about your sisters? What about your mom? What about your wives, your girlfriends? Just like Oge said earlier. So this would actually help in ensuring good menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls. It says, the number two says they can seek out reliable sources of information and engage in discussions to increase their understanding. This is one of the key things we are actually doing. We have men on this call, and I'm sure that after this call, for those that were not advocates, after this call, they will start acting as advocate. I believe that's actually what we are going to get. The number two is open communication. Men can encourage open and honest conversations about menstruation within families and communities. Gone are those days we want to talk to our mom say, don't shout, just calm down. Let's encourage open and honest conversations around this, even within families and communities. Okay, the next point says fathers can play a crucial role by talking to their sons about menstruation, ensuring that future generations are more informed and empathetic. What does it mean to be empathetic? You putting yourself in the shoes of the other person. And I'm sure by the time you put yourself in the shoes of the other person, even though you are not feeling what the other person is feeling directly, but at least it would help you in engaging or relating with such a person. Number three says advocacy. Yes, I've been saying this since the beginning, that men can be advocates for menstrual health by supporting policies and initiatives that promote access to sanitary products, clean water, and proper sanitation facilities. Yes, we can see SDG, is that SDGs? No, that's not decent, clean water, and yes, SDG 7. We can see it's showcasing here. Now it says they can also raise awareness about the importance of menstrual health and challenge harmful stigmas and taboos. I'm sure at the end of this call, every male or every guy on this call will stand as advocates for gender equality, stand as advocates for good menstrual health and hygiene. The fourth point I have here is providing resources. So men can contribute to menstrual health by providing necessary resources such as sanitary products to women and girls in need. Yes, yes, yes. So my organization, in partnership with another organization, will actually be having a program on Tuesday, yes, 26, to promote menstrual health and hygiene, and we'll be sharing about 1,000 parts to schoolgirls. If I tell you that the person that actually wrote this proposal is actually a man, and we got it because he was able to put himself in the shoes of girls and young women, of women and young girls, yes, to write that. It says you can also support organizations and initiatives that work to provide affordable and free menstrual products. Yes, yes, this actually I've actually gone to a pharmacy to get a menstrual product, and the guy just walked up and said, "Don't worry, I'll pay for her." I was like, wow, so we have people like this. Yes, he just paid. He said, "Don't worry, I'll pay for her," not because of anything, but I believe that kind of person actually has sisters and mothers and, why either wife or someone that he actually knows that. And I felt more relaxed that, okay, I think I don't need to be shy anymore. Yes, creating safe spaces. Men can ensure that safe and clean toilets and washing facilities are available for women and girls to manage their menstrual health and dignity. They can advocate for construction and maintenance of such facilities in schools, workplace, and public spaces. Creating safe spaces essential. It's very essential for everyone. Yes, breaking stigmas. Yes, every one of us needs to actually work on this. We need to challenge the harmful stigmas and taboos associated with menstruation. Do you know, can you actually envisage you as a guy up there on the podium speaking about this? What kind of horror do you think you are going to give on that platform? Yes, speaking against discrimination, advocating for inclusivity. This would help create a more supportive environment for women and girls. Okay, let's dive into actionable steps to ensure equitable access to comprehensive menstrual health and hygiene resources. The first thing is education. Education is empowerment. I've said this over and over. Education is empowerment. First and foremost, we must empower women and girls with knowledge about their bodies and their menstrual health. Comprehensive sex education is key to breaking down stigma and dispelling myths. This can be achieved through awareness creation, sensitization, even for the target audience that do not efficiently have access to the knowledge and hygienic product. Yes, so we have target audience that they do not have access to this knowledge. We have target audience that they have the idea, but they are not effectively and efficiently equipped with this knowledge. They feel like, I just know the surface. I don't really know deep. But by the time we all go, we create awareness about this. It's not necessarily you go to a big school that has 10,000 students before you think you are actually advocating. Talk to that young girl beside you, talk to that young sister, and tell her, inform her about having good menstrual, give her the importance, tell her the product. Yes, so change starts from home. Change starts with you talking to one person. You don't need to talk to a crowd of 1 million people. So education should cover the biology of menstruation, hygiene practices, and importance of destigmatizing periods. So various mediums like workshops, seminars, digital platforms. Yes, you can use your WhatsApp status to promote this. You can use your Twitter account. You can use your LinkedIn. You can use whatever to disseminate information. Okay, access to affordable menstrual products. We've said this, access to affordable, safe, and sustainable menstrual products is a basic human right. Yes, government and organizations must step up to ensure that these products are readily available, irrespective of economic status, either for marginalized communities and low-income individuals. These options are not only eco-friendly, but also cost-effective. Okay, Oge and Kelly, yes, the both of them actually spoke on eco-friendly products. Yes, we need it. Can you see where climate action is actually coming into this again? Yes, which is why every of the SDGs are actually interconnected. Then don't forget, I think the first class we had on African, that was when we were still at the other phase. The first facilitator spoke about sustainability, and it was like you creating solutions without compromising the needs of the younger generation. So let's not just think about the present thing. SDGs actually has to do with now and not compromising those of or that of the younger generations. Proper facilities, we need to provide proper sanitation facilities in schools. Clean water and sanitation is coming in here again. Ensuring access to menstrual products is linked to clean water and sanitation. Sustainable, reusable menstrual products along with proper sanitation facilities reduce the environmental impact of disposable products and promote better sanitation practices. This contributes to Goal 6, Goal 6, by reducing waste and improving sanitation infrastructure in schools and communities. We have community engagement. It is not just an individual issue. It is not just the woman or the women issue. It is everyone's issue. We need to engage communities to support women and girls during their menstruation, break the cycle of silence and shame. Is actually an intervention we all need to put in place. Sustainability, we've said that. Reusable clothes pads. Yeah, I think there's a lady on my LinkedIn. I've actually forgotten her name. Whenever I see her, she's actually giving out reusable pads to people in the rural communities. I think she wants to go to a 10,000. She wants to do 10,000 now, and I think she's on 3,000. I'm not too sure about that. When I see that, it's actually a great initiative. It's a great alternative that people can use. Policy advocacy, support, and solidarity. Yes, men, you must be a part of this conversation. You must support women and girls in their lives. This would help us create a just society. It will help us create a society where the rights of everyone is actually there. We can all maximize our potentials. In conclusion, menstrual health and hygiene is not just about periods, it's about human rights, dignity, and sustainable development. Achieving good menstrual health and hygiene is not just about physical well-being. No, it's about breaking barriers, empowering women and girls, and ensuring their rights to live a life of dignity and equality. Yes, menstrual health is a fundamental human right. Yes, it's a basic human right. Yes. And when you say you're advocating for the right of women and girls, yes, so this is part of what we need to advocate for. So as passionate youth advocates, let's be the driving force behind this change. Let's amplify our voices. Let's raise our awareness. Let's demand action from our communities, government, and international organizations. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your attention. It has been really amazing. And team, together everyone achieves more. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Ayomide. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for delving so deep into the issue of menstrual health and hygiene management and how we can achieve good menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls. You saying menstrual health is a public health issue was indeed a groundbreaking for me, because indeed it is a public health um, issue, and a lot of people do not see it as such. And there are so many barriers, so many challenges that affect women and girls when it comes to issues of menstrual health and hygiene. So our participants, you're free to ask your questions. If you have questions, you're free to ask. I can see Ryan's hands are up. You can equally drop your question in the comment section in the chat box. I just want to talk about the lack of access, right? All the speakers made emphasis to lack of access when it comes to menstrual access to sanitary products, especially for women and girls. And the funny thing is that before now, whenever the issue of lack of access is talked about, I usually assume lack of access for people in rural communities alone, for people maybe less privileged who do not have the financial means to access this menstrual product. Only for me, one time I traveled for work, and funny enough, I traveled to Abuja for work, and fortunately, my period started towards the end of my trip, and I had not planned for it. So I went to the reception to ask if I can get a menstrual sanitary pad. And as good as it will be, it was a lady that was at the reception, so it was easy to meet her. I asked her, please, can I get a menstrual sanitary pad? And she was so confused. She did not know what to do. And this is one of the biggest hotels in Abuja. She did not know what to do. She said she did not have menstrual pad. I was like, so what am I supposed to do right now? And she was looking all confused. She said I should wait. She was going to make some calls. She made calls and told me she was sorry. There's nothing she can do. There is no menstrual pad in the hotel, one of the biggest hotels. I don't even want to call the name of the hotel. So I was like, so where can I get outside here? She said I have to find a mall to get menstrual pad. You wouldn't believe I spent 3,500 to get a taxi to find a shop where I can buy menstrual pad. And imagine that lack of access I had that period. As someone who thinks I am an advocate, I am educated, I have the opportunity to easily have access. But something as easy as that, it was difficult and impossible for me to get until I had to spend so much money to find where to get a menstrual product. That is why seeing menstrual health as a public health issue is paramount, so that people can begin to address it in that way, and also make menstrual products accessible to all women and girls, no matter the barriers they face. Thank you so much to our speakers. So as I said, you're free to send your questions in the chat box. Ryan, your hand has been up, so you can go ahead with your question, Ryan.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Ogechuku. And then Oyomide, thank you so much for the presentation. It's really, really interesting. My question is about cups. I know much about pads, but these cups, menstrual cups you are talking about, I really don't know much about it. I don't know if you have a picture or something like that. This question goes to all of the three speakers. I'm not just choosing any one of you. And regarding the issue of addressing the problem of menstrual cups and hygiene, there was a place here in Bauchi, it's outskirts of the state, actually. Sorry, I don't know if this sound is coming. Hello, are you listening to me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Hear you.
All right, thank you. So this place is a remote place, actually, in the state, and there are local peoples there. So I went there, I started talking to them about how they get their menstrual pads. One of the women there, which I know, she told me the problems they encountered during their periods. So I told her that if I get opportunity, I will try and meet them over and talk about how they will assess the issue of menstrual health and hygiene. If we grant any access to financial issues concerning this, to solving financial issues concerning this, I think I will also reach to them and make sure that they get their sanitary pads on time. Thank you. Hello?
Yes, thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you so much for your question, and thank you so much for the experience sharing as well. So, any of the speakers can respond to Ryan's question on menstrual cups. I know, yeah. Okay, Chukwu, you can go ahead.
Yes, we talked about menstrual cups, and the other day on Instagram, I think it's Girl Up. So some teenagers went on the street and they were showing men what men, and they asked them if they knew what it was, and they didn't even, like 80% of the men asked they had never seen a menstrual cup. So I think I'm going to share. Okay, I can't share anymore. I wanted to show you what a menstrual cup looks like. I think I have a picture of it. It's
Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay.
Okay, yes,
have
I am
a picture.
share your screen here.
Okay.
I can't share. Yeah, good. So it's a reusable alternative to traditional disposable menstrual products. It's plastic, it's rubber. It's actually, if you look at one of those pictures there, the one that has the vaginal canal there. So you can see it. You can zoom it. Yes, that one. Yes, that one.
I can see it. Yes.
So it's the only issue with menstrual cup is getting the right size for the ladies in question. So what you do is that it is inserted into the vaginal canal to collect menstrual fluid during menstruation. So you have to look at insertion, collection, removal, and cleaning. So you empty the cup, you wash it, then you can use it over and over again instead of using pads. I hope this answers your question, Ryan.
Yes, it did. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ogechukwu. Thank you, Ayomide, for sharing your screen. I think you should still put your screen up, Ayomide. I want you to equally search menstrual discs, because now menstrual cups, before now, people always say menstrual cups were the latest invention when it comes to menstrual hygiene or menstruation collection. But we now have menstrual discs, which is quite similar to the menstrual cup, but is seen as more flexible and equally has the ability to take up more menstrual products at a time in comparison with the menstrual cup. Yes, you can see that image of a menstrual cup and menstrual disc put together side by side. So it is more flexible and has a deeper depth, unlike the menstrual cup, so it can last for longer than the menstrual cups. So I guess every day new inventions keep coming up as regards menstrual collection, even though it is still restricted, or the knowledge is still, and the access is still restricted for a lot of us, especially in Africa. Yes, so this is another menstrual disc is another product similar to menstrual cups. Yes, thank you, Ayomide. I don't know if there are more questions. Let me check the comment section. Okay. Iyamize Joanne from Uganda says, I will talk about access to information on menstrual health and hygiene during community engagement. It's crucial to form peer-to-peer supporting groups, identify male champions to act as ambassadors to breaking the barriers surrounding menstruation, hence inclusiveness for sustainable development. Yes, it's important. Thank you, Joanne. It's important to have male champions when it comes to issues of menstrual hygiene, because most times we as females, we say we get shy or ashamed when it comes to issues of wanting to get menstrual products or issues of menstrual health and hygiene. And most of the times we are shy and ashamed because of our male counterparts, right? We are shy of how they will react to us. We are shy of how they will see us, or just the fact that they might laugh at us. So it's good to have male champions on issues like this. I don't know if any speaker has something more to add to that. I'm equally going through the comments section. Yes, the comment section is full of a lot of women and girls talking about how the issue of going out to get menstrual products. A lot actually, I feel a lot still needs to be done. That is why as a group, we are advocating for having male champions and advocating for the issue of menstrual health and hygiene to be talked about more so that people can have access and equally feel comfortable to share their experiences. So if we have no more questions, because the speakers, Ayomide, Ogechukwu, and Kelly did justice to this presentation on achieving good menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls. They did justice. They touched every area that needed to be touched. So we're really grateful for your outstanding presentations. And I would like you to give us your last words as regards achieving good menstrual health and hygiene. In 1 minute, you can give us your last words. Ogechukwu, you can have the floor to give us your last words. Then Kelly will before Ayomide. Hello, can anyone hear Ogechukwu? Okay, I can't hear you, Ogechukwu. I'm not certain if it's from my end or yours, but I can't hear you. If anyone can hear me, please signify so that another speaker can give their last word before we get Ogechukwu back. Yes, Ogechukwu has gone up. So Kelly, please, you can give us your last words in one sentence, in 1 minute, words of encouragement on how we as women and girls and equally men and boys can champion achieving good menstrual health and hygiene. Kelly, you have the floor.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity once more. I was so impacted today. And I want to say menstrual health and hygiene, as rightly said by the other speakers, is not an issue of women's affair. They did out our seminar online webinar was put on the group and they saw that it was only women and everything. No, it's not a woman affair. We can see very much how men can participate through advocating or even supporting our women. You have sisters, you have mothers. Men can as well participate positively in advocating for menstrual health and hygiene. Same as the government can advocate in supporting women and girls during menstruation. It's providing, for instances, facilities which can help these women and girls during their menstrual periods, and it will go a long way to support the women and girls during period. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you so much. As you rightly said, a lot needs to be done and we all need to put our hands together. Menstrual health is indeed a public health issue, and government, private stakeholders, and everybody needs to put their hands on deck. Policies that will protect and help women when it comes to issues of menstrual health and hygiene needs to be set up, not just on the governmental level, but equally in private organizations and schools to help women and girls have easy access to good menstrual health and hygiene. Ayomide, you can please give us your last words in 1 minute before Ogechukwu comes up.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Rachel. You've been amazing. And Kelly, Ogechi, thank you girls for setting the pace because I was able to write on all that you've said. And thanks to everyone for joining. I actually don't want this webinar to just be, okay, let's join, let's listen to what she has to say, and let's just go back. No, we need to start to advocate for the change that we want to see. Yes, 7 years is no longer far from now. 2030, Agenda 2030 needs to be addressed even before we move to the Africa we want and all of that. So one key takeaway for me is that I am an advocate for change, and I am not necessarily going to start from an audience of 1,000, 100. I'm going to start from the next person behind me. So I'm imploring each and every one of us as advocates to stand and begin to do that which is necessary, creating awareness and helping the next person behind you, beside you. You never can tell who that life you've touched will actually touch. So this is my final note, and thank you for having me once again. It has been nice being here, and I'm actually glad. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ayomide. Thank you so much. Indeed, we need to start from the next person behind us. We need to start from the next person we see. And it takes one step at a time. A drop of water will eventually make an ocean. Thank you so much. Okay, Chuku, you have the floor. Give us. Yes. Go ahead, okay, Chuku. Hello, Gechuku, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes,
Can
you have
hear
the
me?
floor. Yes, yes,
Okay,
I can.
thank you. I just want to encourage the men in our midst, and the men too should tell their friends that menstrual health and hygiene is not just about women, and that menstrual health and hygiene can help empower men to foster empathy and support for women in their lives. I also want to tell them that there are a lot of campaign out there for men. He for she campaign. They can join and talk about menstruation and encourage the women in their life to live healthier and better lives. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ogechuku. Thank you so much. This is the Africa SDGs workshop series, and our theme for today, SDGs 5, gender equality, is achieving good menstrual health and hygiene for women and girls. And we chose to talk about this issue because it is crucial to the well-being of women and girls, and it affects men and boys and all of us in our society. It affects women's productivity. It affects the general development of our nation, because if women and girls do not have good access to menstrual health and hygiene practices, they would not be able to function in their full capacity, and that affects everybody, as not just a nation, but as the world in general. So thank you so much, our speakers, for such an engaging and interesting conversation. Thank you so much, our participants, for staying with us through this. Thank you so much, African SDGs workshop series, for the opportunity to air and talk about issues that affect us all. So you can all have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much.